If you're over 60, there's one quiet habit, something so ordinary, so trusted, that could silently raise your risk of a stroke while you sleep. No chest pain, no warning signs, just a normal night. And then suddenly, your hand won't move. Your words come out jumbled, your balance vanishes. As a brain doctor, I've stood beside too many hospital beds where this story begins the same way. I felt fine last night, but the twist? It wasn't because of smoking, or a poor diet, or skipping exercise. It was something they believed was helping. Something on the bathroom shelf. Vitamins. Yes, vitamins. Millions of older adults take supplements each day, thinking they're protecting their bones, sharpening their memory, or fueling their energy. And many do help, in the right doses and at the right time. But a few, especially when misused or misunderstood, can quietly turn against your brain. They don't knock on the door with symptoms. They slip in at night, when your brain is most defenseless. Today, I want to walk you through 5 common vitamins that, if taken the wrong way, may increase your risk of stroke, brain bleeds, or dangerous blood pressure spikes, especially in those early morning hours when your body's most fragile. If you've ever taken vitamin D, E, B6, A, or niacin, this video could quite literally save your life. But before we begin, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever questioned whether your daily vitamins might be doing more harm than good? Type 1 in the comments if you have. Type 0 if this is completely new to you. And if brain health matters to you or someone you love, tap that like button and subscribe to Health 365 for real, science-backed advice made just for older adults. Because next, we'll start with the most surprising of them all, vitamin D. What you don't know about it could turn a good night's sleep into the beginning of a nightmare. Let's begin with the most unexpected of them all, vitamin D. You've likely heard it praised as a miracle. Good for your bones, great for your mood, essential for immunity. And that's all true, in moderation. But here's what most seniors are never told. Too much vitamin D, especially taken at night, can quietly tip your brain toward disaster. I know that sounds surprising, but I've seen it more times than I care to count. Let me tell you about Mr. Walter, a 74-year-old retired Navy veteran. Disciplined, sharp, respected. He took pride in his routine, woke up early, exercised, and lined up his supplements every morning like clockwork. Among them, a 10,000 IU vitamin D capsule he picked up over the counter. He believed he was protecting his bones, but quietly, without warning, that single pill was planting the seeds of catastrophe. One morning, his wife found him confused. His right arm hung useless at his side. His speech, a broken whisper, a stroke, overnight. His blood work told the rest of the story. Sky-high calcium, rigid, narrowed arteries, blood pressure swinging out of control. The culprit? Vitamin D toxicity. You see, vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium, but in high doses, especially without medical guidance, it can flood your bloodstream with more calcium than your system knows what to do with. And your body reacts like a panicked housekeeper. It starts shoving the excess anywhere it can, into your arteries, into your soft tissues, into the very blood vessels that lead to your brain. And over time, those vessels stiffen, becoming less like flexible tubes and more like fragile glass straws. Now imagine a calcium spike in the middle of the night. Add dehydration, poor sleep, an aging circulatory system, and suddenly you've built the perfect storm for a stroke. What makes it even more terrifying? There are no early warnings. You feel fine, you sleep peacefully, and you wake up in a different life. And here's something most people never check. Over-the-counter vitamin D supplements in the US often contain far more than older adults need. 5,000 IU, 10,000 IU per pill. Many people take them daily for months or years thinking, more must be better. But the truth? Studies show that even 2,000 IU a day may be too much if you're not deficient. Let me say this plainly. If you're taking vitamin D, especially with calcium or heart medications, get your blood levels checked. Take it in the morning, not before bed. And always, know your dosage. Do you know how many IUs your supplement has? If so, type D in the comments. And if this gave you pause, please like the video to help others find it too. Because if you think vitamin D was surprising, wait until you hear what vitamin E can do. This one doesn't just clot your blood, it can cause it to bleed into your brain. Now, if that last part about vitamin D surprised you, just wait, because the next vitamin is one many seniors take with confidence, thinking it protects their heart. But in older adults, it can lead to something even more devastating than a clot: a brain bleed. Let's talk about vitamin E. Often called the heart helper, vitamin E is praised for improving circulation, supporting memory, and even brightening the skin. And if you've been taking it for years, you're far from alone. But there's a dark side that never makes it onto the label. And once you see it, you'll never look at that little soft gal the same way again. Let me introduce you to Mrs. Evelyn Brooks, 81, a retired librarian from Ohio, sharp as a tack, always with a novel in hand. She had a mild heart valve issue and was prescribed warfarin, a common blood thinner. Everything was monitored. Her blood pressure, stable. Her labs, normal. Her doctors, pleased. But one day, flipping through a health magazine, she saw an ad. Natural vitamin E, 800 IU, supports memory and circulation. She thought, why not? It seemed gentle, helpful, innocent. 3 weeks later, she was rushed to the ER with a blinding headache. She couldn't speak clearly. She was vomiting, dizzy, confused. A brain scan revealed the truth. Hemorrhagic stroke, bleeding inside her brain, not from a fall, not from high blood pressure, but because the combination of high-dose vitamin E and her blood thinner had made her blood too thin to clot. One fragile vessel, just one, couldn't hold on, and it burst. You see, in high doses, vitamin E acts like a natural anticoagulant. It slows your blood's ability to clot. So if you're already taking aspirin, Plavix, warfarin, or any blood thinner, and you add vitamin E on top, you're quietly stacking risk inside your brain. Even a tiny bleed, barely the size of a grain of rice, can steal your words, your memories, your ability to walk. Now here's what's truly alarming. The recommended daily intake of vitamin E for older adults is just 15 milligrams, about 22 international units. But most supplements on store shelves, they contain 200, 400, even 1,000 IU per capsule. No warning labels, no consultations, and seniors take them every single day. Evelyn survived, but she now walks with a cane. Her short-term memory never quite came back. And through tears, she told me, I just wanted to help myself. I didn't know I was doing harm. And that's what breaks my heart, because she's not the exception. She's the rule. So many older adults believe that if it's a vitamin, it must be safe. But not all vitamins are safe, especially when combined with medications that thin the blood. Now, if the thought of a brain bleed made you uneasy, just wait until you hear what happens when a vitamin meant to protect your nerves quietly destroys them instead. Let's talk about vitamin B6, often found in brain-boosting blends, memory formulas, or nerve support pills at the pharmacy. Vitamin B6 wears the disguise of a helper. Energy, focus, sharpness. That's what the bottle promises. But in high doses and over time, it can quietly damage the very nerves it claims to protect. Sometimes, permanently. Let me tell you about Mr. Harold Jenkins, 76 years old, a retired truck driver from Kansas with hands as steady as the roads he once knew by heart. But when he came into my office, something wasn't right. He said his feet felt numb, his hands tingling like static under the skin, his balance fading. At first, he blamed aging. Then the falls started. One fall in the kitchen, another in the garage. The third time, he hit his head on the bathroom floor. That's when I dug deeper. And there it was, on his bathroom shelf, a bright orange bottle labeled Brain and Nerve Support. Inside, 100 milligrams of vitamin B6 per tablet. He was taking 2 each day, 200 milligrams daily. That's over 10 times the safe upper limit for someone his age. And here's the frightening truth. Unlike some vitamins that flush out in your urine, vitamin B6 builds up quietly, like rust on a wire. Over time, it wears down the protective coating on your nerves, just like peeling insulation off electrical cables. The result? Tingling, numbness, weakness, tremors, confusion, falls, and yes, memory loss. But it doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in, slowly, silently. So many people think it's arthritis or early dementia. But in reality, it's vitamin B6 toxicity, and it's preventable. Mr. Jenkins was lucky. We caught it in time. We stopped the supplement, the damage slowed. But still, he uses a cane now. He doesn't drive, and I'll never forget what he said. I just wanted to protect my brain. I didn't realize I was poisoning it. Here's the truth. Vitamin B6 is important, yes, but in very small amounts. Older adults typically need just 2 to 10 milligrams per day, and that includes what's already in your food. But many brain or nerve supplements sold online or over the counter contain 50, 100, even 200 milligrams per pill. That's not helpful, that's dangerous. So if you're taking anything labeled brain, nerve as your energy, check the label, know your numbers. And if you've taken one of these supplements before, or know someone who has, type B6 in the comments. Because this next one, you've probably taken it for your eyes. But in high doses, it doesn't just affect your vision. It can raise the pressure inside your brain. Let's talk about vitamin A. Now you might be thinking, at least vitamin A must be safe. It's just for eyesight, right? That's what most people believe. After all, vitamin A is essential for vision, skin, and immune health. And if you're over 60, you've probably been told at some point, take it to age gracefully. But here's what almost no one tells you, especially as you get older. Too much vitamin A doesn't just sit quietly in your body, it builds up. And over time, it can do something far more dangerous than blur your vision. It can mimic a stroke. Let me introduce you to Miss Dorothy Simmons. She was 79, a retired piano teacher from Oregon, elegant, independent, her home always filled with music. But one morning, the melody changed. It started with dull headaches. Then came blurred vision, then dizziness, then slurred speech. Her family feared the worst, a stroke. But when we ran her brain scans, what we found was unexpected. No clot, no bleed. Instead, increased intracranial pressure. The pressure inside her skull had risen to dangerous levels. Her spinal fluid wasn't draining properly. Tiny veins in her brain were under stress. Her brain was being squeezed from the inside. The culprit? A high-dose skin and eye health supplement she'd been taking for 5 years. Nearly 10,000 IU of vitamin A every single day. Here's the key. Vitamin A is fat-soluble. That means it doesn't wash out in your urine like vitamin C or B. It stays, it settles, in your liver, in your tissues, even in your brain. And as we age, our liver slows down, so that buildup happens faster and lasts longer. Too much vitamin A can lead to a condition called pseudotumor cerebri, literally a false brain tumor. The symptoms are terrifying: headaches, double vision, dizziness, nausea, slurred speech, even permanent vision loss or cognitive decline. And the scary part, many multivitamins already contain the full daily dose of vitamin A. But when seniors add extra supplements for skin, for eyes, for anti-aging, they unknowingly triple or quadruple their intake. The safe upper limit for older adults? Roughly 2,500 to 3,000 IU per day, and only when needed, under a doctor's guidance. But many store-bought supplements? 5,000, 10,000 IU or more, taken daily, for years. That's not support, that's slow sabotage. Miss Dorothy is recovering, but she now needs regular eye exams, pressure checks, and balance therapy just to stay safe. She once told me, with quiet heartbreak in her voice, "I thought I was doing something good for my body. I never imagined it could hurt my brain." And that's why I share her story. Not to frighten you, but to empower you with the truth. Because when it comes to your brain, ignorance isn't bliss, it's risk. And even the most well-intentioned habits can quietly backfire. Now, if you thought eye vitamins were risky, wait until you hear what happens when a vitamin meant for heart health starts flipping your blood pressure like a switch. Let's talk about niacin. Now, if you thought vitamins for eyesight were risky, wait until you hear what can happen when a vitamin meant for heart health starts turning your blood pressure into a ticking time bomb. Let's talk about niacin, also known as vitamin B3. It's often praised as a natural way to lower cholesterol. Some doctors even prescribe it. You'll find it in heart health supplements, multivitamins, energy drinks, even in your morning cereal. But here's what no one's saying loud enough, especially for older adults. High-dose niacin can cause serious blood pressure swings, and in the wrong body at the wrong time, it can quietly trigger a stroke. Let me introduce you to Mr. Frank Miller, 82, a retired postman from Florida. Strong, proud, still walked every morning with his rescue dog, Benny. But lately something felt off. He started experiencing sudden hot flushes in his face, a pounding heartbeat, morning dizziness that came and went like waves. His wife thought it was anxiety. His son blamed the blood pressure meds. But the truth was hiding in plain sight on the kitchen counter. A supplement bottle that read, "Supports cholesterol and circulation." The back label? 1,000 milligrams of niacin per serving, and Frank was taking it twice a day. That's 2,000 milligrams daily, over 60 times the amount most seniors actually need. Here's what happens when you take niacin in high doses. First, it causes your blood vessels to suddenly expand, which makes your skin feel flushed or warm. But soon after, those same vessels snap back, tight and constricted. This yo-yo effect is like stretching a rubber band over and over again, until one day it snaps. For Frank, that day came quietly, a transient ischemic attack, a mini stroke. His speech slurred, his face dropped. 2 minutes later it passed, but the damage was already done. He thought it was just a fluke, but I had to tell him the truth. The supplement he believed was helping his heart was silently stressing his brain, and he's not alone. Many seniors buy flush-free or extended-release forms of niacin, believing they're safer. But even these versions can raise blood pressure, trigger heart rhythm problems, or mess with blood sugar levels. Here's what matters. For older adults, anything above 50 milligrams of niacin per day should only be taken under strict medical supervision. And if you already have high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, or are on medication, you must read your labels carefully. Frank is off niacin now. His blood pressure is stabilizing. No permanent damage. But I'll never forget what he told me as he clutched the bottle in his hand. "Doc, I thought I was doing everything right. I didn't know I was gambling with my brain." And that's what makes this so dangerous. The danger doesn't look like danger. It looks like a vitamin, a capsule, a routine, a healthy habit. So now that we've walked through 5 everyday vitamins, each with the power to quietly harm your brain, you might be wondering, what should I take instead? Or better yet, what should I eat? Because the answer isn't in the bottle, it's on your plate. So now that we've walked through 5 common vitamins, each with the quiet power to harm your brain, you might be asking, if these supplements can backfire, what should I be doing instead? That's a powerful question, because the truth is, your body was never designed to run on pills. It was built to thrive on food, real food, whole, living, nutrient-rich food. The kind your brain recognizes, absorbs, and uses in just the right amounts. Let me introduce you to Mrs. Margaret Wilson, 73, a retired school principal from Arizona. Organized, thoughtful, the kind of woman who kept her spices alphabetized and never missed a doctor's appointment. When I first met her, she opened a drawer in her kitchen. Inside, a dozen bottles lined up like soldiers. Vitamin D for her bones, vitamin E for her heart, B complex for energy, niacin for cholesterol, a multivitamin, a memory support formula, a few others she couldn't even name. She looked up and said, "I'm doing everything right, Doc, but I still feel dizzy in the mornings. My blood pressure's climbing, and I'm tired all the time." Something wasn't adding up, so we tried something radical. We cleared the clutter. One by one, we replaced her pills with real food. No trendy diet, no complicated regimen, just honest, nourishing meals built for her brain. Here's what her new breakfast looked like. 1 boiled egg, clean, steady protein. Half an avocado, full of brain-healthy fats. A slice of whole grain toast, slow-burning energy. A handful of blueberries, rich in protective antioxidants. A glass of room-temperature water, hydration for her neurons. Sometimes she'd toss in a few walnuts or almonds for an extra brain boost. That's it. No powders, no pills. Just food. Real, recognizable, healing. And within just a few weeks, Margaret felt it. Her dizziness faded, her blood pressure steadied, her energy returned. And she told me with a little smile, "My mind feels clearer than it has in years." Here's why it worked. Your brain doesn't need megadoses or miracle pills. It needs consistency, hydration, micronutrients in their natural form. It needs balance, not excess. Some of the best brain foods for older adults include leafy greens like spinach and kale, packed with folate and antioxidants, fatty fish like salmon and sardines, full of omega-3s to protect brain cells, berries rich in polyphenols that fight inflammation, nuts and seeds loaded with vitamin E, magnesium, and healthy fats, whole grains for steady blood sugar and circulation support. And here's the beautiful part. These foods don't just protect your brain, they nourish your heart, your bones, your mood, and your independence. You're not just eating, you're healing. Bite by bite, here's your final wake-up call. Not from fear, but from awareness. Because at this stage in life, every small choice carries more weight than it once did. And the truth is, it's not just the pills you take, it's what you understand about them. That understanding is your true protection. Your body at 60, 70, or 80 doesn't process supplements the same way it did at 30. What once passed harmlessly through can now linger, build up, and slowly work against you, especially when taken without guidance. Even well-meaning habits, like popping a daily vitamin, can quietly become risks if we don't ask the right questions. But that's the beauty of it. You don't need to fear vitamins. You just need to respect them. Read the labels, ask your doctor, and most importantly, listen to your body when it whispers before it screams. And if even one part of this message spoke to you today, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, what's one small change I can make tomorrow? Tell me in the comments. I read them, and so do others walking this journey with you. If you found this helpful, give it a like so more people can find it. And please subscribe to Elder Wisdom and Strength, because we're building something here, a space for truth, for clarity, and for care, tailored especially to older adults like you. You are not alone on this path, and no matter your age, you are never too old to take back control of your health.